know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. No rush, go on, move dumb. Pushing, so on, move dumb. Peace and...
It's Damian Dotson here. You're watching Your Perspective Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you like, follow, subscribe to Your Perspective Podcast. Damian Dotson, whole team Dot.
Welcome back to Your Perspective Podcast from Houston, Texas. Introducing the team. To my far right, Damian Dotson. To my left, the big man. All I do is Winston Shepard. I'm your moderator, CJ Short. Today we want to welcome our guest, formerly of the Houston Rockets, 76ers, Bulls, Suns, and currently with the Red Star basketball team in Serbia, Isaiah Canaan. Isaiah, thanks for taking the time out of your schedule to come hang, and we appreciate it.
Nah, I appreciate y'all, with the invite. And, I was really looking forward to it. And, I like being with a great group of guys. And, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. They call you Sip. But I know you as Isaiah Canaan, man, because when I was growing up in Houston, when I was in high school, when I was in college, you was playing for the Rockets, brother. So I remember you from that. I don't really know you as Sip. I know you from that. And then we was able to cross paths. All right, they call him Sip because he's from Mississippi, man. But I just want to give you your flowers, bro. I know you took your time out. You got a busy schedule, man. You overseas for 10 months, 11 months. You come home, you only got a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying? So we try to fit you in that window. Right. We should have did this last year, but you got out of here. But I just want to say, man, congrats on your success, everything that you've done so far, consistency, and what you're doing now, bro. I just want to say I'm proud of you, and I want to give you your flowers. Appreciate you for pulling up.
No, I appreciate that. And we shared gyms together, so I know the hard work you put in. You push me, a lot of days. You might not even own that. And same with Win. We all share the same gym out here. And, since I've been drafted, here with the Rockets, this has been my second home here. And, seeing you guys in the gym, it really motivated me to, keep going. And, I really appreciate that. And, you had a great career yourself.
Appreciate it, brother.
Brother, appreciate you pulling up. Obviously, I've known you at SIP, bro. Been watching you from afar for years. And I want to give you your flowers and congratulate you and salute you to say you keep going. And as podcast Santa Claus, man, I bought a gift for you, brother. I want to gift you this bottle of gin, brother.
Appreciate that.
Gin. You can pick that up at Specs, Total Wines, Mad, BCN, Worcester Garden, bro. Crafted here in Humble, Texas, bro. So check it out, bro, and give me your honest opinion on it, bro.
For sure, you're going to get that.
Bet.
Yeah, man. So, Sip, bro, let's jump right into it, man. Where did it start? Where did the basketball, where did the life start, man? Give us a background on that.
Man, what's crazy is I was I wanted to play football, growing up. Mississippi is not really a basketball, type of state. And, I grew up playing football and basketball. So, my dad put a ball in my hand around, as far as I remember, age of 6. And, Allen Iverson was, one of my idols. He was a short guy. Could dribble, I was about the same height. I even grew braids when I was a kid. That's why I wear number 3. That's outside of my dad. Allen Iverson was really a, player that I looked up to and tried to idolize my game, after. And, once I was able and realized that I can, was pretty good at it, I was playing against some of the older guys, back in the hood. And, them guys kind of embraced me and, roughened me up a little bit, made me a little tough. And, once I kind of developed, my own work ethic, my dad and my mom and my grandma, they all was big factors in pushing me and wanting me to excel in, in basketball. And, I was just a young guy from Biloxi, Mississippi with a football dream and ended up being good in basketball. And, that was kind of, my way. And I was able to, eventually reach my dream when I got drafted to the Houston Rockets.
What was your position in football?
You'll never believe me. I was a quarterback. Okay. But I was more on the Lamar Jackson side before Lamar Jackson. I was more like that.
Well, you were Iverson. Iverson was quarterback too, right?
Yeah. He played, he played quarterback too, but the modern day Vic is Lamar Jackson, and Michael Vick was my, football idol. So that's who I idolized my football game after. But I just wasn't gonna be that natural quarterback height, so I had to go basketball.
Brother, early 2010s, I was at Findlay Prep, and I remember that's around the time you was at Murray State. And I remember watching y'all run and you going crazy, and that's really how I first was introduced to you. And it seemed like you kind of started that, and you had a couple guards come after you that went pro, a couple guys as well in the league now. Talk to us about Murray State, bro. Like, how was that? How'd you end up going there? And, you know, that historical run that y'all went on. I think y'all won 4 games in a row.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
My junior year. But that Murray State, you know, that journey to Murray State, like I said, Mississippi wasn't a basketball, you know, state. So my options, you know, at the time, you know, when I started receiving letters in basketball was like my junior year. It was a lot of mid-major like Tulane, maybe USA, which was in Alabama.
South Alabama.
Yeah, South Alabama, Arkansas State, like small mid-major schools, and Murray State, you know, and this school out of North Carolina called Wilmington, UNC Wilmington.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had no idea where Murray was at, you know, and I went on a visit there. Man, it's funny, you know, all these guys that's probably going to watch this, you know, they going to remember this story. I pulled up on campus, and it was, you know, half a football stadium. You know, they didn't have the other side of the fans. It was just one-sided. And I was just like, man, where am I at? You know, I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. And, you know, I ended up going on a visit, and I seen, you know, just the culture of, you know, how much they embrace, you know, that basketball team, you know, how much, you know, basketball really thrived there, and, you know, the family aspect of it. And, you know, I'm a small country kid from Biloxi, Mississippi. You know, it kind of felt like something I was, you know, used to, and I was able to go be myself there, you know. And Murray State was recruiting me hard my junior year. They was like the only school that actually showed up at my high school almost every other week. They came so much that, you know, my friends in high school was like, yo, that school is here again. You know, they eventually catch me in the hall before I knew. They knew they was there before I knew. They was like, yo, that school here again. You know, so they kept showing me love, and I'm big on, you know, loyalty. And, you know, my senior year, you know, just to fast forward, my senior year, I had some of the SEC schools try to come get me to decommit because we ended up winning state my senior year. And obviously, you know, I played well, performed well, and they tried to get me to decommit, you know, but I stayed loyal, you know, to Murray State. And my biggest motivation was to go and try to, you know, do something that haven't been done, you know, from my city, and try to go see if I can do it on my own, you know, away from home, not try to stay too much at home. And, you know, I ended up signing with Murray State, and, you know, every door, you know, every avenue that I could ask for, you know, ended up opening for me. And I had a great group, you know, of guys around me up there, great older guys that pushed me as a freshman,
Yep.
You know, to become, you know, the freshman of the year that year. I had a great group that came back and was with me, you know, my sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. You know, even 2 freshmen that stayed with me. You know, they stayed with me the whole way. And my junior year was when we really, you know, went crazy. We got Dick Vitale to come in. He was hosting some of the games, and just being there, we wasn't even really realizing. You know, we was just mid-major school. We wasn't realizing, like, you know, they actually treating us like a, you know, a Kentucky or like a Duke or somebody like that. You know, every gym we went to was sold out before we got there.
Your Perspective Podcast in the building. It's your boy ESPN Win. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of the podcast, Saratoga Sparkling Water. Get down to your local dealers and pick this up.
You know, we was ranked. We ended up getting high as 7.
Yeah, that's lit.
You know, it had been a while since Murray had been ranked. We was in the top 10. We was on ESPN every day. You know what I mean? So that was, you know, that experience was crazy, you know. But we worked, you know, we won my freshman year.
Yeah.
You know, we going to the tournament my freshman year, beat Vanderbilt. They was like ranked 4, maybe. Mm-hmm. We was 13 or something like that, or maybe even lower. We beat them, almost beat Butler second round to go to the Sweet 16. But that was the first year Butler went all the way to the finals with Brad Stevens and Shelvin Mack, Gordon Hayward. That team, I was a freshman, you know, when we played against them. that was the first year they went. They went back to back, if y'all remember. They went back to back. So the first year, my first year in the NCAA tournament was against them. And the second time I went was my junior year. We played against that Marquette team with Jay Crowder, the lefty Lamar Odom. Y'all remember him?
Darius Johnson Odom.
He was built like this. You know what I mean? He looked scary out there on the court. They had Vanderblue.
Vanderblue.
They had a couple big guys that ended up, being able to go pro. And, yeah, man, them years at Murray State, really, it was a challenge. And it was a challenge that I set out, my high school year going into college that I wanted to, kind of do. And I was able, to do that successfully, in the right way. And, without them guys up there, I would have never been able to be the player that I am. Them coaches, Coach Prone, Steve Prone, Billy Kennedy, the late Amir, I love you, Amir. All them guys, they all had help, into, developing my game. And, that was a good time, in college. And, I was able to go pro after that. So, Murray State was a good, good college, and guys like Cameron Payne came right after me. Ja Morant came right after that, so now everybody call it, Point Guard University. And
who started that though?
Yeah, and I was,
You know what I'm saying? You gotta.
They tell I'm like, man, I need a statue.
Originator. I'm the originator. I did that. We won 23 in a row when I was here.
And I remember that, bro, like vividly. Like I said, I was out in Vegas in Findlay, and I remember seeing y'all on TV and you going crazy. Like that was a live time.
And we didn't even realize, a lot of people was watching, but later on they was like, yo, man, I remember you at Murray. Yeah. I remember when you was at Murray. I'm like, I know y'all remember me in the league, but y'all remember me at Murray. I just didn't think a lot of people, was really tuned in like that. We knew we was having fun with it. We weren't really realizing, the grand scheme of it. But yeah, man, a lot of people really watched them years at Murray, and I was surprised.
Yeah, man. Shout out Murray State, man. Yeah. Shout out Cameron Payne. Shout out Ja Morant.
Sure.
I want to pick your brain a little bit, bro, because just like you said, you didn't think people were watching the mid-major games. You know what I'm saying? And it was a smaller division. But now, everybody's you got players from everywhere now. You know what I mean? Even when Curry was coming from Davidson, it's a thing that you sleep on mid-major schools, even in NCAA tournament, bro. So I want to pick your brain and get if you had to, build a top 5 of mid-major players. If you had to build a list.
If I had to build a list, let's see. I want to put myself on a team, but I'll just give you 5 and I'll be the coach.
Yeah.
So I'll be the coach, and then got to put Steph in there. Ja Morant got to go in there. We talked about, somebody that people may forget, Jimmer Fredette, unbelievable college career. Who else will I put in there? CJ McCollum got to go in there. Lehigh, wow. I need a 5.
It sounds like all guards.
Yeah,
it sounds like all
I'm
guards.
showing all my guards love, especially now that KD said the 6 foot, wave is kind of being not talked about as much no more. But got to show the love to small guards. But I'm gonna throw Doug McDermott in there. I felt like he had a great college career too.
Dougie McBuckets.
And he a good friend of mine, so. He closed out my top 5.
Shout out Doug, man.
Scottie Pippen, Central Arkansas.
We didn't go era. I was trying to think of the guys in my era.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. That's a crazy name right there, CJ. Central Arkansas, Scotty dripping.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Damian Lillard too.
Damian Lillard, Weber State.
Shout out Dame.
Shout out Dame.
It's a lot of people. I mean, it's only 5 slots. You bound to leave off a bunch of people, but those guys.
Dame definitely in there. Sorry, Doug. Dame in there.
Doug.
Sorry, Doug.
Doug is my teammate in New York too.
Doug, my guy.
That's my guy.
Sorry, Doug.
So you go Curry,
Jimmer. No specific order.
No specific
Curry,
order.
Jimmer, Dame, CJ, and Ja.
That's all. Those are all
mid-majors.
Those are all 6'2", 6'3" footers that get buckets.
We just say 6'2" and down.
6'2" and down. All right, cool. Yeah, bro. So, man, we talked about Red Star a little bit. I don't really know how to pronounce the official team name. You know, is in Serbia, man. It's one of the top teams in EuroLeague. You have expressed multiple times that you love the city, you love the team, you love the environment, you love the fans. You know, can you kind of give the people at home that doesn't understand what Red Star and the aspect of EuroLeague and the love that you receive from the fans at Red Star, can you kind of give the people at home like the understanding on that?
Yeah, so you know, shout out to Red Star, you know, unbelievable club, you know, unbelievable organization. You know, they fan base is arguably, you know, the best, you know, over there. And man, these people, you know, the passion, the love, the commitment, you know, that they have into going to these games, you know, going on the road, traveling to different countries to come support your team, you know, bringing that energy, you know, to a game, you know, that, you know, some people just think it's just basketball. To them, it's you know, I look at it, for them, it's life or death. You know, they ride or die for their team. You know, they gonna support their team. They show so much love to the players. You know, just for us, you know, going out there battling, you know, what the name across the jersey, you know, means a lot to them. You know, it's in their bloodline over there. It's not just a game of basketball. You know, it's something that they really set out to, you know, they want to dominate. You know, they fans are so passionate. You know, it can be good for you and it can be bad for the opponents. You know, you know the other side of that, going into some of them gyms, you know, with being the opponent, they're on you. It's way different from, you know, the actual NBA games. Like, that's the biggest, you know, I would say difference is, like, you know, the fan base is, you know, what they're allowed to do and, you know, get away with over there in them games. You know, it brings a lot of intensity to the games. For somebody like me, a competitor that, you know, love that type of excitement, love that type of energy, you know, it brings a whole nother level out of me over there in those games. And, you know, as a competitor and as a player, you know, you love competing in them games. You know, you like to quiet them cries down. That's everybody, you know, looking at you, going against you, you know, waiting for you to, you know, mess up. But the energy that Red Star brings, you know, it's definitely a club that you want to, you know, experience if you play in Europe, or, you know, want to be able to go in that arena and play against them, you know, just to see the opposite side of it as well. But
so for like someone who's not watched Euro basketball or experienced or been there, how would you like, are the crowds so like sellouts? Are they? And when you say, and I feel like I know the answer to that kind of. Well,
standing room, maybe only.
Okay. And then and when you say they're allowed to get away with things like
Fire.
I mean, we see, you know,
Horns, flares, yelling, spitting,
lighters,
throwing stuff,
lighters.
Crazy.
I don't think it's nothing comparable over here in America.
No, it's nothing that compares
like,
to college,
I don't think
football,
it's like,
none of that.
It's
nothing.
Yeah,
I don't think it's nothing that you could like describe over here to be like, I mean, maybe like Madison Yates,
No.
like when it's standing room only, like you standing up, people standing on the baseline, maybe.
We're
like,
talking
Rucker
about,
Park, maybe.
We're talking about
but
horns, lighters being
Yeah, I
thrown,
know.
fires, yelling,
Flares.
the thing that I
chants.
hated
That's
was
the-
the big
that's
ass
what-
drums.
That's what's crazy to me is
Man.
the flares.
Yeah,
You know, they're
flares.
able to light flares during the game, and it's just smoke. The whole arena is just smoky, and
CJ,
we
we got to show you some video.
we
bro.
gotta, like, you know what I mean? Like, we trying to play and breathe, you know what I mean? Like, we running around, we inhaling smoke.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, but that's the atmosphere, you know, that's the European game, you know.
And
So
you
as
feel
an
safe.
American, we gotta embrace their culture. You know, I really want to embrace their culture. If this is how y'all live and this is how y'all play, I'm over here, so let's get it. You know, I'm like, shoot, I want to experience this. I'm out here, but it's an amazing, you know, feeling. Just looking 20,000, you just like, yo, y'all really in here, you know, like to the max,
Rocket.
Like,
Rocket.
to the
Kinda
Early.
max.
I kind of
early.
envision like a premier soccer game where everybody's super intense, like similar
Yeah,
atmosphere
yeah.
to basketball.
Because soccer is they American football up there.
And you always feel safe for the most part during all the fire and
Yeah, we're on the court. You know, some arenas they have nets around the court to keep, you know, the bottles and stuff from getting there. But
okay.
you know, for the most part, they don't let it get too crazy. You know, it's a lot of stoppages in the game. You know, you can attest to
I
that.
mean-
They gonna stop it, and everybody gonna say, you know, try to calm down.
Actually, I don't know. 'Cause I never
You
played.
didn't
I've never
experience
played
none of
against
them
Red
turkeys?
Star. I never played against Partizan.
None of
When
them
we-
turkey teams?
When we play Efes and Finner, they
Yeah,
don't do that.
yeah,
they
don't
more
really-
chill.
yeah,
they
they
more
more chill.
conservative.
Yeah,
like,
they more conservative.
But Serbia, Red Star, Partizan,
Greeks.
Greece, it get crazy in there. And
Yeah.
I've seen videos. I've never experienced it, but that's why I said, CJ, I want to show you these videos so you can see for yourself before the game.
It's
They-
definitely not everywhere with
not-
the
yeah.
super crazy,
Crazy,
you know.
yeah.
But the fans over there in Europe,
they
every
take it
fan
serious.
base is
Yeah, they
pretty,
take
you
it
know,
serious.
pretty serious. Now you just got your crazy fan bases, which is in Greece and Serbia's, like he said. But for the most part, you know, as a whole, they're not as it's not as wild like that. But
Like,
it's
if we-
definitely good arenas.
If
though.
we mention Red Star and we say tag Red Star and we tag the fan base, you're gonna
They'll
see.
send you
You're gonna
everything.
see
all my Red Star
DMs.
fans, send all the clips that you want them to see.
Yeah.
Shoot them all.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. That's
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's love, bro. Like
Yeah.
I would want to experience that. You know what I mean? Even go to a game. And I've been to Barcelona versus Finner. It wasn't like that.
Mhm.
I've been to Efes versus Finner.
Mhm.
I've been to Zalgiris versus Finner.
Yeah.
It's not like
not
that.
like
You
that.
know what I'm saying? I'm not. So I never experienced it. So when you say you know, I don't. Like I don't really
My bad.
know.
My bad.
That's a different experience,
bad.
brother.
Man, I was out in Arizona last week, and I ran into some of the guys that play at Grand Canyon University. So we chopping it up. And I like, man, okay, what's the plan? And everybody plan is, yeah, I'm going to go to the league, and then if not, I'm going to just go overseas.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of young guys think that they could just go overseas. Like, can you speak to the level of talent, schedule, commitment that it actually takes to play? Like, because I think some guys in America think it's just, I could just fall back and go overseas, and it's
Yeah.
not like
And
that.
it's sweet.
Yeah, and like, right. So
Yeah.
coming from Isaiah Canaan, first round pick, been over there in the league all over the world, like, can you tell the kids at home like how hard it is actually in Europe to make it?
So it's the first thing I would say is wherever you go, you know, try to embrace the culture first. You know, really step out there, really, you know, get out in the city and, you know, see how they live. You know, if you're gonna be over here and be, you know, living here for the 10 months, go see how the people that you're gonna be around, go see how they live, go see, you know, how the food is, go see how the restaurants is, because it'll only make, you know, your time there a lot better once you can get comfortable with where you living. You know, obviously everybody's situation is different, but the biggest thing I say first is embrace the culture. You know, then the second part of it is, you know why you're over there. You know, you're going over there to be the best you can, to put it all the work you put in the summertime. This is your time to go prove and, you know, represent your family. You know, so you got a lot of time to really, you know, spend in them gyms. They practice, you know, more than games sometimes over there. So, you know, just being able to handle, you know, that part of it. The schedule, the travels, you know, it ain't gonna be all the private planes like in the NBA, but at the same time, you know, we all didn't fly private, you know, at one point. So that part of it isn't the biggest, you know, issue. It'll be a little draining, but that's not a big issue over there. You know, as long as you embrace the culture, you know, I feel, you know, everything else will open up for you once you understand the game.
Yeah.
The game is an actual different game. You really gotta know what's going on out there because, you know, the rules are different.
Yeah.
You know, that little 3-second thing is a big deal from the NBA and
Pivot.
overseas.
Can you
Pivot.
expand on that and some of the rule differences? You see it in the Olympics sometimes,
Mhm.
but
So it's no 3 seconds, you know, in the lane, you know, over there. So you can sit trees literally down there and just, you know, so you just can't come off a pick and roll with athleticism and just think you just finna go dunk over a 7-footer, you know, especially one that can, the Tavares's, you know,
I mean,
the Mustafa Falls over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
you know, them, you're not just turning the corner going to dunk on them because they can just sit there, you know, they basically waiting on you, you
Yeah.
know, so you actually got to read the floor, you know, it's everything over there is so systematic, you
And
know,
it's more
these coaches,
physical. It's
you
more
know.
physical than you think.
It's your boy ESPN Win here, man. I'm on West Timer right now. I'm on West Timer right now, like that boy Pimp C used to say, man. Make sure you like and follow, subscribe when you're watching Your Perspective Podcast.
This is CJ Short with Your Perspective Podcast. We want to give a shout out to the Gonzalez Law Group. Phone number 832-530-4070. give them a call. They have 90 professionals on staff for all your legal needs. They will be your legal team for life.
You think you're just going to come off a pick and no, the guy that's guarding you is going to get over that pick and roll too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have your pivot step, your rip throughs, all that changes when you get overseas. You can't just rip through.
Nope.
You can't just do a regular
You
travel.
gotta put it down.
You got to put it down
You got to
first.
put it down.
Cross step, you got to put the ball down first. You can't just go in there playing like you over here.
Yep.
And don't think it's sweet either.
No, because it's think about it. You got a lot of players that had the same ambitions, the same goals that you had, and they just, their route wasn't the NBA. They went over there and that's their careers, so it's good players over there. Don't get it twisted. It's good players in Europe, and I can actually say I had no idea about Europe. I didn't, ever think I would go play in Europe, but now that I'm over there and actually see it, I respect Europe, a lot more. There's good players over there. It's great countries over there, and it's if you're a fan and you love basketball, you wouldn't have, nothing negative to say besides, being away from the family, about 10, 11 months. But other than that, it's a great game of basketball. EuroLeague is, I think the best league over there. And but all them leagues over there, it's not sweet.
It's not sweet, man. And I would say just from my experience, bro, like we said, it's not sweet. We both, me and Win played over there. Win know it's not sweet. But I want to talk about what you said about embracing the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My first year, I went to Turkey. I didn't embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a tough road for me. In December, I was ready to come home because I wasn't embracing the situation. I go to practice, go back to my apartment. Order food. I was getting takeout. I wasn't leaving the apartment unless it was to get food. I wasn't embracing what they had going on.
Yeah.
By December, I was ready to go home. This was my first experience overseas.
Yep.
But this past season, I did that. Embrace the culture. Go out, see the water, see the country, go to the markets, go talk to the people in the restaurants, talk to them, build a relationship with they made. When the game came, I was already chilling. I was in the moment of, all right, it's time for me to hoop now.
Yeah.
Because I done did X, Y, and Z all the way up into the game. Now I'm comfortable with the fans.
With your routine.
I'm comfortable with the routine. I'm comfortable with the people in the country. I know how they react to certain things. I know the culture. They just love the game. They just want to watch the games.
The fans are, to them, especially guys that come from the NBA.
Yeah.
So they're all fans of NBA basketball, so like to them, if they see you out in the city embracing, their life, the way they live, they only gonna reciprocate that.
They're
gonna show that same love back to you. I can go to the mall in Serbia and, they make me feel like I'm the LeBrons or the Steph Currys, they, oh man, we really appreciate, everything you're doing for this team, the hard work you put into this, and that makes, that makes me want to go out there and, want to play even better. Little kids like, man, you're my favorite player. They viewing, us because they don't think, they would ever get a chance to be this close to us, because we Americans, we're not, Serbians or Turkey or Spanish, so they looking at, oh, these guys come from the NBA. Now they're right here. They like, this is amazing to them.
This is my hero.
This is my hero, and we're playing for their team that they love. I tell you, it's
generations,
in their blood.
Generational. It's like generational. Like,
and they
Red. My grandfather was a fan of Red Star. Yeah. My uncle probably played for Red Star.
Yeah.
We're all from we
got season tickets.
We got season
like
tickets,
they wearing Red Star shirts, jerseys every single day because they live and die for their team. And
you're making me want a Red Star shirt.
Somebody
make that happen for sure.
Somebody sent CJ Short a Red Star shirt, man.
So when you're out alone or with your teammates, you guys, is it usually kind of a crowd of people that are following you?
I mean, out of respect, they allow us to, relax and eat, and as soon as they get their opportunity when it's time to go or something, they'll come over and ask for a picture. But for the most part, they're respectable. You'll have your kids, every blue moon that just like, but for the most part, it's all love. And, like I say, it just motivates you to want to go out there and, just want to do well for them.
Sure. Yeah. So, man, we kind of skipped past the Murray State, Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns, Chicago Bulls, 76ers. We kind of skipped past that, man. And I just want to give you your flowers on that. You know what I mean? 34th pick to the Houston
sure.
Rockets from Murray State.
For sure.
Mid-major. You know what I mean? That's a huge accomplishment.
Small kid from Biloxi.
Man, that's a huge
I got that.
It's a huge accomplishment. And, you know, you did 2 years with the Rockets. Then you went on to play dib and dabble with these other squads, man.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of give us the excitement and the feeling you had on that draft day, bro?
Man, the draft day was nervous. You know, it was more nervous than, you know, the actual moment. You know, I was just wondering if I was going to hear my name called. You know what I mean? I was wondering where I was going to go. I had all my family around. You know, everybody just watching you. They, you know, like I said, I'm a small kid, Biloxi, Mississippi. There hasn't been anybody, you know, to come through here to do that, you know, outside of Dupree. You know, shout out Dupree. You know, the nerves took over more so once I got my name called. Once I got my name called, I was just like, wow. I was like, wow, I'm in the NBA now. Like, you know what I mean? As soon as the name called, got a call. Congratulations, you know, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow? You know, I'm like, tomorrow. It was like, yeah, I had to fly out to Houston the next day. But, you know, being drafted, you know, it meant a lot, you know, just the hard work and the dedication, the many days where I wanted to go play with my friends and my dad, like, no, we finna go watch film, you know, or we finna go get these shots up, you know, all them days, you know, the moments, you just came back like it, you know, it was worth it, you know what I mean? And just to see the love around me, my high school coaches, my agent, you know, my family, friends, you know, that I grew up with, to see everybody, you know, be able to experience that same type of, you know, feeling and love, you know, that it's nothing that, you know, will beat that moment. And, you know, I'm very blessed and thankful that, you know, I was able to do a little time, you know, not only get drafted, you know, I stayed around, you know, 6-7 years and, you know, I'm still playing, you know, today. So, you know, I'm thankful and, you know, I really appreciate it. It's hard to get in. It's hard to stay also, you know, and, you know, I was able to be around and actually, you know, play a little bit and do some good things in the NBA, you know, before I, you know, took my talents across the waters.
Yeah. I was going to say, bro, like just going back on that day, like, I know I didn't experience that. I was at the draft. I wasn't with my people. It was only a select amount. It was my mom, my brother, my grandma, my agent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You was at the crib with the fam, love around you, getting your name called, get off the phone, man. I just got drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't experience that, but I did experience the walking on stage with. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different experience on like how you can kind of experience that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you had to go back, would you rather been at the draft or at the crib with the fam?
I mean, if I was solidified, you know, to hit my name, go across, you know, early, you know, I go back and sit in that green room. But, you know, if I ended up, you know, if I was gonna fall, you know, to the second round, you know, I would rather do it with family. You know what I mean? Just because you know how it is, you know, everybody feel a little embarrassment when it don't go, you know, their way that they wanted to go, you know. So, you know, to save myself from them type of moments, you know, I'd rather just be home, you know, with my family. And, you know, if I go one, shit, we together. You know what I mean? If I go last, I'm with my family. It won't matter. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
But obviously everybody would want to experience that walking across the stage. You know, I can't sit here and say I didn't.
But vice versa, bro. I would want to be at the crib with my people. You know what I mean? Like a whole house of
in my high school gym.
You know,
I was in my high school
gym. That would have been lit if I could have been at
TVs on the stage.
If I could have been at Jack Yates and did that with all my people in the that's lit.
It was just like walking across
that's
the
lit. That's better than walking across the stage, to be honest, bro. Walking across the stage, you gotta do all this media, you gotta take photos.
Facts.
It's better at the crib with your people and you taking pictures with your people. Throw the hat on. You ain't got no hat. You know what I'm saying? You just in your natural form, just making it to another level.
I just had a nice suit on.
That's dope, bro.
Good.
That's
Spent
dope.
it with the fam, and we all celebrated together. You know, at the same time.
That's dope.
Man, that's live, Sip. So for those of us that don't get to watch that much European basketball, can you give us a recap of how this past season was, how did it go, and you know what's going on for next season?
Yeah. So this year I was coming off I had just signed a 2-year contract with Red Star. I played previously in Greece with Olympiacos. I made it to the Final Four and championship game, you know, the first year in Greece. Made it back to the Final Four the second year. I was with Greece. We ended up losing in the semis, but signed a 2-year deal with Red Star. You know, I was looking forward to a new challenge. I knew the arena, you know, was going to be crazy. I had played in front of them fans, and I wanted to go experience that. And, you know, this year we started off great, you know, for it to be the first time together. It was a new team, and, you know, the coach put together a good team, management put together a good team, and we started off, you know, hot. You know, we was top 5 team for the majority of the season, you know, and, you know, it's a long season over there, and
How many games?
it's ups and downs. EuroLeague or just with both domestic and EuroLeague?
EuroLeague, like the EuroLeague.
EuroLeague is, what is it, 2 rounds, play each other twice, 16 teams.
About 30, 40, 32, 40,
Ballpark.
36.
Ballpark 30,
40
40
games,
40
yeah.
games,
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, we started off, you know, majority of the season, we was hovering around, you know, top 5 at the beginning. You know, toward the middle of the season, we was hovering like 5 and 7, something like that. And, you know, a couple injuries happened. You know, we ended up playing in a play-in game toward the end of the season. And, you know, I look at this season as, you know, it was a stepping stone and a start, you know, going into this year. You know, we brought in some new pieces, and, you know, really looking forward to this season this year, because EuroLeague is going to be crazy with all these new teams in it. You know, they got a Dubai team now. They got Hopol is in it, another Israel team. Valencia is back in EuroLeague. Paris is in EuroLeague now. Outside of all the other, you know, big teams that's already been in EuroLeague. So really looking forward to this year. Like I say, we started some last year, and I feel like this year, you know, once everything come together, we can be right in the mix again.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Cody Miller McIntyre.
Yeah,
Guys in tough together.
Wolf.
Shout out Wolf. Shout out Wolf. Shout out Cody.
The Wolf.
And he helped me more than he know. You know what I'm saying? Because he had already been in the situation. He had already been overseas.
Right.
That whole team had molded me in the fact of, bro, this is your first year, but I was on a team with guys that had already been overseas for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
That knew me from playing, you know, in the States, but they started their career overseas.
Right.
So when I got there, they kind of gave me the game on, man, this how it go.
Yeah.
This situation might not be the best, but when you play good and you know you're gonna elevate, and you know what I'm saying? And I had to kind of embrace that. So Cody helped me. That was my roommate on the road. So he helped me more than he know it, because he was so relaxed and chill in the moment. And I was just like, man, I'm ready to get out of here, you know?
Yeah,
and he was more like, man, I'm gonna embrace it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the hookah lounges. I'm gonna go chill, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go out and embrace the people. He had a driver and all that, like, you know what I'm saying? So he already knew. So he helped me more than he know, because I'm like, man, I gotta go out here and embrace. I can't just sit in the room, bro.
Right.
Man, I gotta get out and move around. I gotta embrace it. Because if you don't, you already know how that go.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things, bro. And
shout out Cody. He was my PG this year too.
Shout out Cody, man.
Shout out Cody. Great guy. Great guy.
Bro, Silk, man, I just wanna know more of the questions, like, about the NBA and, you know what I mean, teammates that you've had and experiences that you've encountered, man. If you had to give us a welcome to the league moment, what would that be?
Shoot, I feel like my welcome to the league moment was when I really realized how good LeBron James was. You know, I remember it like it was yesterday. Obviously every team got their own scout report, you know, plays, whatever we're going to use, you know what I mean, for the game. And I remember sitting on the sideline one of the first games. First, I was just like, dang, this is LeBron. You know what I mean? First year in the league, I'm like, wow, this is LeBron, and he's right here. You know what I mean? But then when I heard, you know, we was coming down, we was about to call a play. We called a play. And when I say he broke down our play instantly and told his team everything we was finna do, I was just like, oh, yeah, this is different. I said, nah, first off, he's different. And second of all, I'm like, wow, they know our plays. I'm thinking we got some secret stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, he ain't said, K-Love, he finna come up from a down screen. Kyrie, he coming here. I was just like, oh, man, how we supposed to win tonight? I'm like, how we supposed to win tonight? He know all our play, and he's their best player. And I'm like, we ain't got nothing to stop him. So I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, that was I felt like that. And when I first time playing Steph, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, man, he really different out here. Like, it ain't just video game and highlights. I'm like, guarding him is really different. Like, you got to get sleep the night before. It's impossible to go play him without rest. You cannot go into that game without no rest because he don't stop.
Yeah.
You know, he don't stop moving. Then he got screen here, flare screen here. You getting hit across the head from a screen here.
Draymond
And all you
screening.
seeing that ball just fall out the sky. Fans going crazy. You know what I mean? So there was some moments where I was just like, yeah, it's the NBA and it's a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little different.
Nah, that's dope, bro. That's dope, man.
It's a little different.
LeBron.
But then I started cooking them.
Yeah, right. right.
Once I got my feet in, I made my first couple buckets. I was just like, oh, okay, this basketball too at the same time.
Right. Nah, right.
Y'all a little
I'm out
elite
here
too.
I'm out here too. Yeah, y'all know me too. I'm from Mississippi, but y'all. Situation where, you know what I'm saying, I was playing for the Cavs. He's with the Lakers.
Mhm.
He came down the court. He like, somebody was talking trash to him on the bench because he played for the Cavs. They was talking shit to him. He came down. He said, "What'd you say?" He looked to the bench. I'm gonna come down next play and I'm gonna shoot it from right here. Next play, bro, he came down, faded off the glass, looked at the bench like, "I told you." I said, "Nah." I'm like, "Nah, bro." He's like, "This is like Bron. This is later Bron. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't Bron you talking about with the Cavs. This is
Yeah.
Bron Lakers, like 2-3 years with the Lakers already."
Yeah.
He came down, he pointed where I'm gonna shoot it from. He said, "I'm gonna shoot it from right there." He come down, next play, fade, off the glass, bucket. Looked at the bench like, "I told you." I'm like, "Yo, this is..."
Man, Russell Westbrook had a moment too where it was around when he was with the Thunder, triple-double Westbrook. Man, Russ must have got the ball. They must have it was like the end of the, I don't know why he went so fast, but it was either the end of the clock or end of the quarter, one of them. And he must have got the ball from the baseline and went, I'm talking about, I'm down there on the block. I'm just watching him just coming like a Ferrari or something, just coming straight for him. He must have took off. And I would just look, I started to jump and was just like, nah, one of the moments where you jump and you just kind of like
I'm cool.
fade off
cool,
a little bit.
I'm
Man,
cool.
I must have seen him go and just keep going up. I was just like, oh, I'm out your way. And I was just like, yep, he's different too.
He's different. Yeah, these dudes are
I'm like,
animals,
this
bro.
guy is different too. And yeah, man, I'm all Hall of Famers. And I was blessed to be able to play with a lot of Hall of Famers, be my teammates. James Harden, Dwight Howard. I had a short time in OKC with Carmelo, Russ, and Paul George, that team. I played in Philly with Joel Embiid, Covingtons, the Jeremy Grants, the TJ McConnells. I was in I said Chicago. I was in Phoenix with Booker, Josh Jackson, the Tyler Ulises, the TJ Warrens, DeAndre Ayton got drafted there one year with me, Mikal Bridges. Who else I was teammates with? Rondo, D-Wade, Jimmy. And so I was blessed, to be around a lot of guys that I can, learn from and, just see that, had those crazy careers in the NBA, and just really see what this game of basketball could bring and was about when I was able to be teammates with them and actually go out there and compete against those type of guys. And I'm really thankful, man, just being a kid from Biloxi, Mississippi. If people don't know where that's at, just look at it, and you understand, my journey and, people I was able to play with and come across, that's something that, just don't happen where I'm from. And I'm really experienced that, more than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I nicknamed the podcast Informative Experience, brother. Right? So I know we got to let you go, but before we do that, who are the guys from Mississippi? Because I've heard you say 15 times it's just such a small place and this don't normally happen. The only people that I know is you and Monte Ellis. But who are the guys from Mississippi that you maybe looked up from or stole bits and pieces of games or kind of modeled yourself after?
Monte Ellis, Mo Williams, Al Jefferson. He was a different position, but Al Jefferson.
He was different.
Yeah, nice.
Travis Outlaw.
Travis Outlaw. Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, I remember Travis Outlaw.
Devin
yeah.
Booker. He from
Devin
Detroit, but
Booker?
he went to high school in Mississippi.
D Book did?
From Malls Point. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's
I
only
didn't know
15
that.
minutes from my high school.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Who else came from the SIP? And What's crazy is y'all probably would know this kid, but if he really kept it together, he might have been a Joel Embiid in the league. Dang, what's his name?
Ronaldo
Sidney.
Big
Ronaldo
Sidney.
Sidney.
Ronaldo
Yeah,
Sidney.
no, I
I
know.
remember
Ronaldo
Big
Sidney.
Ronaldo
Yeah.
Sidney.
Ronaldo Sidney.
What
And then
about
y'all
the
know
senior
Q,
when I was a
LaQuinn Ross.
freshman?
LaQuinn Ross.
Shout out
What
Q,
about
Rodney Hood.
What about Rodney Hood?
Rodney Hood from the SIP.
Yeah.
Shout out Hood.
He like top tier though.
Yeah, I
Like,
played Hood in high school when he was a sophomore. You know, my senior year when I got and played against state, won a state championship, I played Hood in South State. You know, Hood was out there at the front of that press, 6'7", long.
left hand.
And played. He went to Duke.
Dude.
Yeah. Duke had a good career.
Had a great career.
Good career. Yeah, all them guys from the SIP.
What about
That's
Latavius
what's up.
Williams? Is he not from the SIP?
Latavius Williams? That's
Big fella.
Memphis.
Tay.
He went to Memphis, right?
Tay.
Super bouncy.
Super bouncy.
He went to Humble
6'8".
Christian Life, right?
I think so.
With DeAndre Jordan, he like.
I don't know, but I know Latavius Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He from the SIP, bro. He from Mississippi.
I might have to get this picture. He after me though, right?
He got to be after you. Oh, y'all. He might be before you.
No, he's before you.
He
sir.
before you. He might be a little
Latavius
older than you.
Williams?
Latavius Williams.
And he went to Memphis.
He about 6'9".
And he had bounce.
Athletic.
I know
Stupid.
exactly what you're
I
talking
gotta
about.
look.
Played
that up.
overseas.
I hope he
played
don't-
in a
I hope
stint
he
in the
don't hate me
league.
after this.
Shout out Tay, man.
From
Yeah,
the SIP.
from the SIP. Yeah, yeah, for real. Man, what would you give? What would you have some advice? Like, what would you tell yourself if you had to give yourself advice to your younger self?
To my younger self, you know, I was raised, you know, always to, you know, give respect, you know, and expect, you know, respect back. And you know, I tell my younger self, you know, just to be patient. Because growing up, I was just always thought, you know, or was told, you know, it's like, oh, you know, you outwork, you know, you're going to be able to, you know, step forward and be able to show that. And, you know, your coaches is going to play the, you know, the best player, you know what I mean? Or at the time, whoever you're competing against, you know, if you outplay them, you're going to play, you know? So, I wish I could have told myself when I was younger in the league, you know, just to be patient, you know, and not, you know, be so crazy at, oh, I'm in practice killing. Oh, I should be playing. And why coach ain't playing me? You know what I mean? If I was just a little patient, you know what I mean? I feel like a few other doors, you know, would have opened up, or this situation, you know, would have went this way. But I also, you know, accept and can look myself in the mirror and just say, you know, that was just something you needed to work on. And, you know, God, you know, gave me my hands and I'm going to make the best of that, you know. And I always had to work for everything. Nothing was given to me. You know, I always going to hold, you know, I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi. We wasn't given nothing. You know, we had to work for everything. And anything in life is easy. It's not worth it, you know. So the fact that I had to work, you know, and to get everything that I have now, you know, I can walk away from it, you know, when I'm ready to walk away from it and to say I gave it everything I had, and you know, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. And you know, patience is just probably the biggest thing I would tell my younger self, is just, you know, just relax and just wait your turn.
No, that's what's up, bro. Is anything that, you know, I mean, outside of basketball that you kind of want to let the people know at home that you got going on? You know what I'm saying? As far as whatever it may be, that's something that interests you outside of hoop, because, you know what I mean, we preach on here that it's more than just hoop. It's life after basketball. Right, it's life during you playing. The ball will stop one day. You know what I'm saying? Is it anything that you're interested in or that you into right now that people don't know about?
Oh, well, I'm a big time fisherman. So, you know, hopefully I can try to find some of these fishing tournaments when I'm done and try to go get in them. And, you know, hopefully take a couple years once I'm done to actually sit back and, you know, reflect a little bit and, you know, try to teach myself, you know, about this second part of life. You know, I got 2 kids now, you know, being more, you know, involved in the things, you know, that they gonna have going on. The older they get, you know, they 4 and 2 now, so they not really doing too much. But once I'm finished, they'll be starting to go into their little things that they doing. So spending more time, you know, with family. I'm never really around for the Christmases, the Thanksgivings. You know, we play during those times. So just take time to spend more with my family and, you know, see which direction I want to go. And, you know, I'm just thankful to be able to, when I'm done, to be able to, you know, take my time and not really rush into nothing. But real estate is something, we probably go. Somebody always needs a house, so try to take off in that direction. And like I say, fishing. Other than that, just be a dad and grow my family.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, I want to give you your flowers from me if I haven't already. I'm proud of you. Keep going.
Appreciate it.
And that's just me giving you your flowers from Dot. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Not nobody else.
Facts.
It's coming from Dot. I'm giving you your flowers, man, and appreciate you
love.
for taking your time out and pulling up, bro. Means the world to us. Means the world to the people outside.
For sure.
We starting this here in the H, man. And you family.
For sure.
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? Even though you from
I just
Biloxi,
appreciate
Mississippi.
y'all bringing me.
No, I'm saying even though you from Biloxi, Mississippi, like you keep saying, you family in the H, bro, and we look at you as one of us. So, man, I appreciate you for pulling up and
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? That's your flowers, brother.
Same for me, brother. I appreciate you. Like I said, you always kept it real with me when you ain't even have to. You didn't know me, nothing. You always showed me love, bro. So I appreciate you pulling up, and I'm looking forward to watching you this season, bro. I'm tuned in.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the people at home, how can they watch a EuroLeague game? Is it YouTube?
So now they got a lot of, well, I ain't gonna say a lot. EuroLeague has their own app. So you can get it, through the app. The game's on ESPN3 now.
Okay.
I ain't know.
Yeah, so the
It's
games
lit
come
now.
on. The EuroLeague games come on around like 12, 1 o'clock somewhere
Midnight, or midnight?
during the day.
No, during the
day.
day. Because it's late over there and it's daytime over
So
there.
like around 12 or 1 p.m. you can catch our games on
That's going to be lit.
the app. Or
They generate
ESPN3.
more chicken now.
Yeah,
They generate more chicken now.
They trying to get some views for sure.
Yeah, that's lit. That's
Some
lit.
views for sure.
Bet. I'm looking.
But yeah,
forward to
tune
checking
in,
that.
man.
Yeah.
We're
Looking
gonna try to
forward
do something
that.
this year, you know what I mean? And
Shout out Red Star.
Shout out Red
get us
Star,
in the
man. Hey, look,
playoffs,
if y'all
baby.
need an extra player, man,
Right.
hit me up.
Snipes.
You know what I'm saying? If you need an extra player, man, hit me up, Red Star.
Let's do it.
But nah, bro,
Snipe.
like I said, bro, appreciate you for pulling up, man.
For sure. All love.
It is love, man. And that's your perspective. You know what I mean? I got my boy ESPN Win in the building. Let me say that again. I got my boy ESPN Win in the building. You know what I mean? I got the coolest man on the planet right here, CJ Short. And I got my man Sip, Isaiah Canaan, man. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on right now. Your Perspective Podcast is in the building. This episode is brought to you by Tago Restaurant, 1120 Dennis Street. You know what I mean? We here with my boy Win, live on set. We got the Mayan Mule right here. Get you a try that, bro.
Nah,
Try that. You ain't gonna try that.
Nah, it's way too early, but we saving this one for you. So make sure
Pull
you
up.
get down here to Tago, 1120 Dennis Street. Ask for the Mayan Muse when you get here.
Ask for Will.
This is CJ Shore with Your Perspective Podcast. Please like, follow, subscribe. I'm here to moderate, try to keep these guys in line. No promises, but I'm gonna do my best. Thanks for watching.
These brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. No rush, go on, you dumb. Pushing, so I'm you dumb. Peace.